The Sugar Act was passed in 1764. This act forced the colonists to pay a tax on several goods that were coming from different areas. One example of this tax was sugar. Sugar at this time cost $6 per pound, which compared to today is a lot of money. People such as Mercy Otis Warren and her brother James Otis spoke out against the Sugar Act and declared that it was unjust and greedy of the British Parliament to do this to the colonists. The Stamp Act was passed in 1765. This act, along with every other act, was passed by the British Parliament. This tax pertained to almost everything written or printed on paper. These items had a special stamp on them to show the tax had been paid. Loyalists, or representatives for the colonies, tried to explain to Parliament that the Stamp Act was unfair because it didn't allow for colonists to have any say in the taxing. Many colonists boycotted paper goods or refused to buy anything with a stamp on it. Parliament eventually grew upset about the colonists' reaction to the Stamp Act and repealed the act or removed it. The Townshend Act was passed in 1767. This act was instated to raise money to pay salaries of Parliament governors and judges. A big reason Parliament passed this act was to show the colonists that they had power over them. In 1770, Parliament sent 9,000 British soldiers to the colonies to show they had authority over the colonists. In March 1770, the Boston Massacre occurred. When Parliament sent its 9,000 soldiers over to the colonists were upset and began to be angry with the soldiers. Tension grew and a fight broke out on March 5th, 1770, which is now known as the Boston Massacre. Many colonists were killed by British soldiers. In 1773, Parliament instated the Tea Act. The Tea Act allowed a British company to sell tea in the colonies for a very low price. This hurt many colonial merchants because their tea was more expensive than the tea brought over by the British. The Boston Tea Party occurred in December 1773. A group of colonists, referred to as the Sons of Liberty, dressed up as Indians, boarded a British ship, docked in Boston, and dumped all the tea on board into the harbor. After the colonists did this, they knew consequences would follow. The intolerable acts which were put in place following the Boston Tea Party were a culmination of punishments sent to the colonists from the British Parliament. These punishments included paying for all the tea that had been dumped in the harbor, paying for the British soldiers' housing, making a blockade with warships in the harbor so ships could not come or leave, and the king made Thomas Gage the new colonial governor of Massachusetts. This did not sit well with the colonists because Gage was previously the head of the British Army. All of these events mark the beginning of a long, bitter war between Britain and its American colonies.